Total apocalypse in Washington. While NFC East rivals are sleeping, a triple bombshell is about to drop. A receiver compared to Debo but with better technique could fall to our pick at 29, while a quarterback predator with nearly 70. Career sacks is secretly negotiating with the front office . And that's just the beginning. A cornerback with a Laia-like speed of 4.28 could be the ultimate solution for our devastated secondary. Nobody is talking about these exclusives. That will change the franchise's future. Subscribe now and be the first to know the truth. That's right, folks. We're talking about the 29th position in the draft and a receiver who could be a game changer for us. Luther Burton III from Missouri is being underestimated by the entire league, and according to Bucky Brooks from NFL.com, it would be insane for our general manager Adam Peters to pass on him if he falls to our pick. Why is this receiver so special? I'll tell you this. We're talking about a player with exceptional tools for catching and running. An explosive athlete with an impressive physique at 6 feet and 206 pounds who runs the 40-yard dash in 4.41 seconds. Sound familiar? Brooks compares him to Debo Samuel with the ball in his hands, but says, he's a more polished route runner than Samuel was coming out of college. Now, I ask you, can we afford to add another receiver when our defense has so many holes? It's complicated, but Peters already proved last year that he won't draft based on need if there's a clearly superior player available. If we add Burton alongside Debo Samuel and Terry McLaurin, our quarterback Jaden Daniels would possibly have the best group of weapons of any second-year signal caller in recent history. Would this be enough to compensate for our defensive issues? I believe offense generates headlines, but defense wins championships. However, a receiver with Burton's potential might be too good to pass up. And here's the most important thing. We're talking about a former 5-star recruit, not a developmental project. Burton has the potential to be an immediate impact player, someone who could step in and contribute from day one. I'm telling you this. Imagine what Jaden Daniels could do with the receiver who has the speed to separate from defenders and the strength to break tackles after the catch. The NFL is a talent business, and overlooking a player like Burton simply because we have other needs would be a serious mistake. Peters has a clear philosophy. Select the best player available. And if Burton is still available at position 29, it will be hard to argue there's a player with more potential on the board. Are other teams underestimating Burton? It seems so, and that could be our gain. Sometimes NFL teams focus too much on measurements and times, forgetting what really matters: production on the field. And Burton has proven time and again that he can be a difference maker when he has the ball in his hands. Let's talk about our defensive line, which currently doesn't scare anyone. Since we lost Dante Fowler Jr. to the Cowboys, we basically don't have any quarterback hunters who strike fear on the opposite side. This is where Zadarius Smith comes. And a 32-year-old veteran who still has plenty to offer. Is signing a player over 30 enough to solve our quarterback pressure problems. Here's the deal. Smith racked up 9.5 sacks last season, split between the Browns and the Lions. We're talking about a player with 69 career sacks who could be exactly the kind of short-term acquisition that Adam Peters has been looking for. Now I ask you, wouldn't it be better to use one of our early draft picks on a young pass rusher? Maybe, but we have very few selections, only 5, and many holes to fill. Peters' philosophy during free agency has been clear. Don't make big investments just for the sake of it. Smith would fit perfectly into that model, providing an immediate boost without compromising our financial future. With Frankie Louvu, Dorrance Armstrong Jr., and Dietrich Wise Jr., our defensive line is decent, but not remarkable. Adding Smith before the draft would give Peters more flexibility to use those valuable selections for other positions. Is Zadarius Smith the ultimate answer? No, but he could be an important step in the right direction. And here's what many aren't considering: the impact Smith could have on our young defensive linemen. This is a veteran who has played on contending teams, who knows what it takes to win in this league. His experience in leadership could be just as valuable as his ability to get to the quarterback. Smith also has the versatility that Dan Quinn values in his defenders. He can line up as an outside linebacker or as a defensive end, giving our defensive coordinator more options to design pressure from different formations. I believe this tactical flexibility is exactly what we need to confuse opposing quarterbacks. Let's not forget that Smith had a season with 13.5 sacks just 3 years ago. If he can recapture even a fraction of that production, we'd be getting an elite player for a fraction of the cost. It's a calculated risk, the kind of smart move that could pay huge dividends without mortgaging our future. Our secondary needs urgent help, and the experts at the 33rd team believe they have the perfect solution. Maxwell Hairston, cornerback from Kentucky. With the 29th pick, we could secure an athletic and versatile defender who would perfectly complement Marshon Lattimore, assuming the latter can stay healthy. What makes Hairston special? Listen up, we're talking about the fastest cornerback at the Combine, with a time of 4.28 seconds in the 40-yard dash. His vertical jump of 39.5 inches was the second best, and his broad jump of 10 feet 9 inches was the third best at his position. He's an explosive athlete with fierce intensity despite his smaller frame. Now I ask you, is speed the only important thing in an NFL cornerback? Of course not. But Hairston isn't just speed. He was a captain at Kentucky and earned all-sec second-team honors despite missing 5 games due to injury. He has the character and mentality that Dan Quinn looks for in his defenders. Considering that our secondary was one of our biggest weaknesses last season, adding a talent like Hairston could be exactly what we need. However, it all depends on whether he'll be available at the 29th position and if Adam Peters values him more than other available prospects, especially if Luther Burton III is still on the board. But let's dive deeper into what Hairston could bring to our defense. In today's NFL, with increasingly athletic receivers and quarterbacks who can throw the ball anywhere on the field, having cornerbacks who can match that speed is crucial. I believe Hairston not only has the speed to keep up with any receiver, but also the aggressiveness to be a factor in the ground game. Did you know Hairston is one of those rare cornerbacks who isn't afraid to come down and make tackles in the run game? Despite his size, he has the mentality of a linebacker when it comes to supporting against the run. This versatility is invaluable in Quinn's defensive scheme, where he demands all his defenders contribute in every aspect of the game. Look, in a division with receivers like C.D. Lamb, A.J. Brown, and Drake London, we need cornerbacks who can face elite athletes week after week. Hairston has the potential to be that kind of defender, someone we can assign to the best receivers on the opposing team and have confidence he can contain them. His ability to return kicks also adds value to his selection. In the modern NFL, players who can contribute in multiple phases of the game are pure gold, and Hairston could be a weapon in both defense and special teams. These 3 options represent critical decisions that will define the immediate future of our franchise. Do we bet on more offensive power with Burton? Do we seek immediate experience with Jadarius Smith? Or do we strengthen our secondary with Hairston's speed? Personally, I lean towards strengthening our defense first. Daniels has already shown he can shine even without a complete arsenal, but our defense desperately needs help if we want to seriously compete for the title. What do you think? Should we go for Burton, Smith, or Hairston? Leave your opinion in the comments and tell me what move you think will be best for our team. If you want to keep receiving this kind of exclusive analysis about the Commanders, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We're a family here, united by our passion for this team. Your support is what makes it possible for us to continue bringing you the best content. And remember, hail to the Redskins!